Today I would like to take the second class on the study of poetry. The students who had followed my lecture already had got the idea about the contents of the study of poetry in my previous class. In my previous class, I have talked about Matthew Arnold's concept of poetry, Matthew Arnold's definition of poetry, and his idea about the high standard of poetry, his idea about the subject matter and the manner of poetry, his ideas about the use of figures of speech. And Matthew Arnold had also talked about three types of estimates. I had focused in my previous lecture about those three types of estimates, such as personal estimate, historical estimate, and real estimate. And Matthew Arnold had also given his idea about Touchstone method. I had also talked about the Touchstone method, which is very much important according to Matthew Arnold, and it had also been taken by T.S. Eliot later on in Tradition and Individual Talent. So these are the things that had been discussed in my previous class. If you didn't follow that lecture, I will suggest to all of you just to follow my previous lecture on the study of poetry that is available in my channel also. But today I would like to talk about other things that had been reflected by Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was very much interested in the writings of the classical poets, and that is why Matthew Arnold is regarded as a classic, and therefore he set up the standard of the classical writers to evaluate the writings of other poets. And in this context, Matthew Arnold had taken Geoffrey Chaucer to Robert Burns for evaluation whether they are the classical or not. He had taken Geoffrey Chaucer initially at the very outset of his discussion. We all know Geoffrey Chaucer is regarded as the father of English poetry, as the father of English literature. But Matthew Arnold also had given credit to Geoffrey Chaucer for his contribution to English literature, and he believed that the subject matter and the manner of Geoffrey Chaucer were extraordinary. Geoffrey Chaucer should be given tribute for his selection of the subject matter in his poetry, as well as for his narrative technique. But he believed that Geoffrey Chaucer is not a classical poet because he has lacked high seriousness. And as he has lacked high seriousness, and that is why Geoffrey Chaucer should not be regarded as a classical poet. But Matthew Arnold had given credit to William Shakespeare and John Milton, and Matthew Arnold had evaluated both of them as classical poets. And he believed that because of the subject matter, because of the manner, and also because of high seriousness, William Shakespeare and John Milton must have to be evaluated as classical poets. But Matthew Arnold didn't believe that John Dryden, who is considered to be the most powerful poet of the Restoration period, and Alexander Pope, who is believed to be the most powerful poet of the Neoclassical period, Matthew Arnold didn't think that Dryden and Pope are actually classical poets. Rather, he believed both these poets are the classical prose writers, but not the classical poets, because he believed that John Dryden and Alexander Pope were satirical writers, and the satirical writers could not be the poets of the classical standard. We all know that the classical writers were not interested to write comedy types of writings. But Matthew Arnold had taken Thomas Gray, had evaluated Thomas Gray as a classical poet, and he had also given the example of the elegy written in the country churchyard, one of the most famous poems of Thomas Gray, to prove that Thomas Gray was a classical poet. Though Thomas Gray had not composed a huge number of poems, but he had got the high seriousness according to Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold had not evaluated Wordsworth, Byron, Shelley, Keats for their contribution to English literature, but he had mentioned the name of William Wordsworth, Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley, but he had not given or passed any judgment to them or for them. Matthew Arnold had also not evaluated Alfred Tennyson or Robert Browning, his contemporary poets, in this study of poetry, because both of them had not still stood the test of time. Matthew Arnold believed that whether a poet is actually a great poet, it will be dependent on the passing of time. After the passing of time, it will be understood that this poet is a great poet, as his poetry is still surviving among the readers. Arnold has also focused on the writings or poetry of Robert Burns, and he evaluated that Robert Burns was more a Scottish poet than an English poet. In this way, he had evaluated these great poets in their study of poetry, but very unfortunately, Arnold had not mentioned the name of Edmund Spenser, one of the leading Elizabethan poets, who is regarded as the poet of the poets and also one of the initial sonnetteers in the history of English literature. And Edmund Spenser had totally been ignored in the study of poetry. So also in case of William Blake, the neoclassical poet, who is also regarded as the precursor of romantic poetry, William Blake is also not evaluated in the study of poetry. So I can conclude that the poets of English literature had been evaluated by Matthew Arnold in terms of their contribution to the composition of poetry according to the standard of classical poets. Thanks to all of you for your patient hearing.